how Pegasus players killers were censored or changed. Recently, I rewatched Duelist Kingdom after, I don't know, like over 20 years probably. Just like a few days ago, I rewatched it. I made a post on the community thing. I watched it dub, and then people were telling me like, oh no, actually very different. So like there is a lot of things that were censored, and there are clear things that were censored, like the pointing finger gun and some flashbacks, right? That you can immediately tell that they were censored. So I'm curious about this because I never thought about these characters that much. Let's see.
When you think of iconic groups in the original Yu-Gi-Oh!, the Rare Hunters has to be at the top of that list.
100%.
But another really notable group that I feel gets overlooked quite often are the player killers or eliminators in the English dub, the hitmen, if you will, that Pegasus hired in order to take down Yugi and friends and just steal star chips from random people on the island as well. Those player killers consist of Panic, the Paradox Brothers, and either the Impersonator of Death if you're watching the anime, or the Ventriloquist of Death if you're reading the manga.
What? I literally never heard of this. What is this? Hold on. What is this? So Ghost Kaiba wasn't Ghost Kaiba in there? This is a completely different character. Huh.
Yes, there's actually two different characters based on whatever adaptation you are watching or reading of Duelist Kingdom. In this video, I am going to highlight all of the censorships and major changes around these characters from the original manga to the Japanese version, as well as any notable differences from the Japanese version to the English dub of the anime. Without further ado, I hope you all enjoy.
They have guns?
So the first player killer that we see is the Impersonator of Death. Now, if you've never read the original Yu-Gi-Oh manga, you probably don't realize that this character is actually an anime exclusive character.
Yeah, I had no idea.
You see in the manga, the character that duels Yugi at this point in the story is known as the Ventriloquist.
What is bro wearing in his face?
Of the Dead, a man who duels Yugi using a puppet of Seto Kaiba. The whole point of this duel in both versions is to allow Kaiba to get back into the storyline, and it's important to note that in the original manga, Kaiba was in a coma up until this duel. He actually wakes up from the coma that was inflicted on him by Yami Yugi in Death Tea in the middle of this duel, which stops one of the Blue Eyes White Dragon's attacks from destroying Yugi and defeating Yugi, which is something that we similarly see play out in the anime, but in the anime, Kaiba like hacks into the duel, and it's done totally differently. Also, the scene of the finger guns and Kaiba deflecting bullets off his briefcase only happens in the anime, as again, in the manga, he is in a coma during this point of the story. In the manga...
You know, I thought like there were gonna be differences between the 4Kids version and the actual version of the anime. I didn't think the manga will be that different. Yami Yugi destroyed Kaiba's mind into pieces in the manga. Oh wow. The manga is definitely something else. Well, okay, and now I'm regretting it. Now I'm thinking, oh, maybe I should read the manga. Maybe I should do that. I wonder why they cut the coma story beat. I really like that better. I wonder like what they were trying to do, because it does like the I don't know. I'm sure like it has to do with other changes, right? To make it consistent with something, maybe. I don't know, who knows.
After Yugi wins this duel, he inflicts a penalty game on the Ventriloquist, which changes the puppet of Kaiba to a puppet that resembles the Ventriloquist himself, and instructs the puppet to attack and potentially kill the Ventriloquist. Obviously, this is an illusion, but to the Ventriloquist himself, this is very real, and he has to live out potentially the rest of his days, or a short time before he goes crazy from madness, with a puppet resembling himself trying to attack and kill him.
Okay, I feel like that was a little too much. What is Kaiba wearing? What is Kaiba wearing? What is this? Oh no. Wow. I guess that's why they changed it. I mean, they didn't have to change everything just because of that part. They probably thought it was too dark for children. I don't think so. My guess is that they cut the Koma story since Kaiba wasn't presented as a psychopath like in the manga. That makes more sense. Because in the manga there were a lot of dark adult themes. Adult. I don't know about that one, but let's see.
Which is pretty insane. In the anime, after Yugi defeats the impersonator of death, he inflicts a penalty game on the impersonator, and we never see this character show up again. There's not really too many notable changes in the English dub. The only thing I wanted to say was that the impersonator of death was not named in the English dub. This character, I'm pretty sure, is a completely unnamed character in the dub, which, given that the role this character plays, I don't think is that wrong. The next eliminator, and probably the most well-known eliminator, is just known as the Player Killer of Darkness, or Panic in the English dub, with a capital K for some reason. So the way the duel between him and Mai starts, basically the introduction to his character, is actually vastly different in the anime compared to the manga. In the anime, we all remember Mai leaving the group and pondering life while looking out on the ocean. It's at this point that Panic grabs her, she screams, and the group hears her and runs to the sound of her scream, and in that time, Panic defeats her in a duel. Well, in the manga, they actually removed a very romantic scene between Yugi and Taya, so I apologize to all the Yugi and Taya shippers out there that this scene did not make the anime. And when I say very romantic for Yu-Gi-Oh standards. Yugi and Taya are actually alone on a cliff away from the group, and at one
I didn't know this was a thing. I thought like people were just making things up in their heads. I didn't know it was like that.
point, Taya and Yugi actually end up holding hands. At this point, though, back at the main camp, Panic opens the tent that Mai is staying in and grabs Mai, removing her from the tent and forcing her into a duel. Mai loses the duel in both the manga and the anime, and then the duel between Yugi commences. Now, the penalty game is a big difference here between the manga and the anime. In the anime, we all remember Yugi's legs getting chained and the fire blowing right next to him, really just to try to scare and intimidate him, although it's clear at the end of this duel that Panic was trying to burn him alive. Well, in the manga, Panic ends up taking a rope, ties it around Yami Yugi's neck, and says he will choke Yami Yugi.
Excuse me? Oh, wow. Okay, so, like, I understand now. They were actual player killers. Like, not eliminators. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I see. He's Panic with a K because they needed to justify the PK in his design. Okay.
Yugi to death as soon as he loses the duel. Certainly more brutal and barbaric than just burning a man alive by fire, although both fates are pretty brutal, if I'm gonna be honest with you. Thanks to this penalty game in the manga, when Yami Yugi defeats Panic, instead of giving him a mind crush like he does in the anime, he inflicts the same sort of feeling that he would have had to go through had he lost the duel. He basically tricks the player killer into thinking that he is being hung, and the imagery that we see is actually pretty disturbing in the manga. I have no idea if Panic actually survives this or not in the manga, as just like the player killer before him, we really never see or hear from this character again, but it's certainly a pretty brutal duel regardless of which version you're watching or reading. In the English dub, Panic Soul is sent to the Shadow Realm due to the Mind Crush, which is one of the only notable differences here, because in the English dub, all the flames, the chaining of the legs, all of that is actually kept in this duel, which I definitely commend them for. Last and certainly
interesting. So it was just like different from the manga, not between versions for the dub and sub. Honestly, not what I was expecting from this video. I thought like we were gonna be here like talking about about 4Kids. Interesting. Yeah, Kazuki wasn't holding back in the original manga, especially early on. I thought like they stopped that like in like before Duelist Kingdom. I didn't know we still had those things in Duelist Kingdom. I'm learning a lot right now.
In this case least are the Paradox brothers. After reading the duel in the manga, rewatching it subbed for the umpteenth time, and rewatching it dubbed, I can tell you there are really no notable censorships in this duel. The whole concept of losing this duel is wandering an endless maze forever, which is a concept in of itself that the dub certainly did not feel was dark enough, where they had to do some wild writing in order to censor it. And basically what plays out in the manga in terms of the backstories of these brothers and the punishment game that will happen to the loser of this duel is identical as to what you see in the anime. The only notable thing I want to mention is that the rhyming sequence that is so associated with these characters is a dub-only thing. That does not exist in the manga.
Why? I knew someone told me this, but like, why? Why did they do that if there wasn't there? Like, what was the point of it?
And it does not exist in the original subbed version. But unfortunately, there's really no major changes with this duel and with these two characters.
It's funny.
That's worth mentioning. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. How Pegasus's Eliminators were censored in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters anime. I've done a video like this for Marek's Rare Hunters and for the Doma Boys, so if you're interested in those, please check them out. If you like this series, let me know some other groups or even individual characters that you would like to see me break down when it comes to censorship and changes made between the original manga, the Japanese version, and the English dub. Thank you all so much for watching. If I missed anything, please let me know down below. I'll talk to you in the comments, and I hope you have an amazing day. Take care, guys.
Very cool video. I didn't know about this. Well,
when it comes to anything, please.
We're definitely gonna watch the other ones when I'm done rewatching Battle City. We're gonna watch the one about the Rare Hunters. Probably next week, I think. I think we're going like pretty fast with that. But yeah, I don't remember like thinking like ever like having like these characters. I knew because I like Panic because of I remember Panic because of how the game works in the anime, basically. Like how it's like the rules are different. Like, oh yeah, the what's it called? The Swords of Revealing Light, and that didn't make any sense. Like how that thing fell in like on top of the other monsters, and that's why I remember that. And you know, the Paradox brothers, because of the, I guess the Gate Guardian is kind of iconic, and they also show up in GX. That's why I kind of remember. I had no memory recollection of this guy. Like I remember Ghost Kaiba, but I don't remember this guy. So, and I had even less of an idea of like the original version that was like a ventriloquist. What? Yeah, no idea about this. And also I didn't know about the Kaiba being in a coma. None of that. So it's cool. Like I want more videos like this. I want to watch more videos like this. Well, hopefully I'm gonna be done with rewatching this Duelist Kingdom. Not Duelist Kingdom, I mean Duel Monster, so that I can get into more videos like this. So yeah, thank you for recommending it. Very awesome.